Alright, it is 9:27 a.m. It is the first day of July, a Thursday, and the main watch list has not changed very much. LWLG, I will be watching for a morning panic bounce play. I don't mind if I miss this one because first I'd have to trade like 100 shares of this, which would be, right now a $1,400 position. That's kind of large for what I normally trade right now, and it's not really the cleanest stock. It doesn't trade with that much volume, so it's just going to be a watch, really. If it looks clean, or if I just feel like it looks like it could work out, I'll consider it. I'll definitely consider it. REPO is just going to be a watch. I don't like how that one looks on the daily chart. PHIL, I'll consider morning panic bounce because this one tends to trade it very nicely. It has a good chance that it does it. Same with WSRC. I might consider it now for morning panic bounce play. It looks like an uptrending head and shoulders, so maybe it'll make a drop towards 36. I don't know. HPIL, same story. I'd prefer this one over WSRC. MJWL, I might consider this one too, but it doesn't trade that well. It doesn't have much volatility, but this one could totally do it. 1 minute till the market open. Alright, it's 10:12 a.m. I'm gonna make a few I just want to make the update right now before I get a little too carried away. So just a few setups. This one could work, by the way, with LWLG. I just got scared out because of how sketchy it is, but this thing is showing less volume. I just don't want to be a part of it anymore, just to mentally step back from it and see how it does. But if I had to guess, it's going to uptrend here and hopefully crack this like 120, 1130 level, not 120. And make a run towards VWAP, which would be pretty profitable. Especially if this volume here keeps fading. I don't see why it wouldn't work. Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't work, but I'm no longer in it. I just want confirmation, really, that this thing can work out. If not, I'll reanalyze and see how it does then and there. But yeah, this one could totally start an uptrend. But anyway, so WSRC, I feel like I'm gonna miss out, but that's fine. Just want to take a step back. WSRC, I bought 933 morning panic bounce play. So we had the big volume candle in theory right here, and then I bought. This is the right chart. Yep. I just want to make sure because these things, they flick around a lot. 935 was when I sold. I bought at 33, so I bought here 33 at what was it? 35.73. So I bought right about here. 933, just right here in this candle. 35 right here, just right about this level. And then I realized there isn't really that much range because the VWAP level is 36, right? So there's actually not that much range. It's not really that good. So I sold going for that VWAP. I got a really good execution thanks to Schwab, and I sold at 3692, which was right here, give or take, right here. 2 candles later, at almost the very tippy top of this candle, it did get to 38, but it was not that much range already at the VWAP level. Is it really going to uptrend more? Maybe not. I sold again at 35. It did get to that level here, and then it fell back. Tried again, didn't look as nice. Fell even harder. So it kind of worked out. Next one was HPIL. This is PHIL's jealous little brother who can't do things right. It's like it doesn't trade as nice as PHIL. I bought at 7.3, 938, which was right here. I thought, alright, maybe this is the big volume candle. 938, let's go for a buy. I bought at 7.3 right here, and it just wasn't working out. Did not like the price action. Tried selling at the higher price level, 74, and then break even 73. It didn't work out. I bought at 938 right here, and I sold at 42, which was right here. I sold 42 at 7.2. So 7.3 to 7.2, just a tiny loss. Not even 1%. Close, but not 1%. What do you know? I had more room to fall down. I just didn't like the price action. That was really what got me out of the trade. And now looking at this, there really wasn't that much range either. So I maybe shouldn't have considered it at all. LWLG is the last one that I traded recently. I bought at 11.10.5 at 10.08 right here because we had like not really perfect, but the stock doesn't trade perfectly, but we had give or take big volume candles right here. 10.08 I got in at 11.10.5, so right about here. And this candle 10.08, and then I got out 2 minutes later because I hated this price action at 11.20. It did get to 11, what is this, 11.42. This thing could still play out, maybe choppy inverse head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, but I'll tell you what, this thing's trading like trash, and this thing could have a lot more room to drop too. Never made a run towards VWAP. I did actually consider buying it here in this initial drop, but I was too busy looking at, I think, HPIL. And then there was a nice move with another stock. I forgot what it was. I think it was a lower low. I missed HPIL when it was down here because I was too busy looking at LWLG. I think that was the one. REPL just not trading with good volume. So that's where I'm at. Let's see. This thing could actually rip. I think Tim Sykes got in at 11.60, and then he bought more at 10.80 back here. If he didn't sell in this run up, he's going to be in trouble if this thing cracks the day low. And this thing could totally crack the day low. It doesn't have to, but it can, because I mean this thing's a pump, you know. It went from $1 to 15, 16, it went to 17. Yeah, it cracked it a little. I'll make an update and see what happens later, but that's where I'm at right now. I really don't see anything that I want to trade. I mean, in theory, this already had the lower low set up here. It worked a little. This was a lower low setup, worked a little. This one I could trade too and risk, I guess, risk 6.9. Well, it's right at 6.9. I could risk 6.8. If it cracks 6.8, I immediately sell. Maybe go for a break towards VWAP and then a continuation towards 10.30. But it's already 10.18, so there's probably not much range. PHIL did work out. Well, this was a bit choppy, no obvious green volume candle, but it was holding this level somewhat nicely, so that could have been a reason to enter. 10.60. Wow. I'll make an update, and yeah, just I don't see anything that I'd want to trade right now. Oh, and HTZGQ is now HTZZ. I don't know if people who bought it at $9, did they really just double their money? I don't understand that, but yeah, I'll make an update later. Alright, it's 10:28 a.m. This thing is just way too sketchy. Now, the volume is fading. Like, we have big volume candle here, here. It's just, it looks like it's starting to die, like the volume, which is good because that means less people are panicking. I could go for a buy here and just risk it cracking the day low, which would be, I can't even tell. I guess the day low would be 10, I don't know. The low would be like 1040 something, 1040. The issue is that this thing is just so sketchy. Volume is kind of sketchy. It just trades so strangely. It might even crack right here. And I don't want to trade $1,000 position again. I already did that once today with this, you know, trading it back here. But clearly this thing likes to trade in a very strange way that it just throws everyone off. It would be so much gravy though if this thing gets from 1040 to 1169. That would be, I mean, right here. Alright, it cracked it. Dang. We got to 1169. Just want to make sure I get my math right. That would be 1169. Alright, so that'd be like $120. and that would be roughly, give or take, not really exactly, but 10%. Okay, it just cracked 1040. It's not panicking like crazy. That could have scared a lot of people out, and then it could uptrend. But now it's taking too long. I thought maybe this could be an inverse head and shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, but you know, it looks a little choppy. It can still do it though. I'm just, you know, for the better, as much as I'd like to just trade back and forth, I don't want to get burned. I don't want to wipe out my cash, you know, available for trading. This thing isn't perfect. This is like a high level play, really. I don't think I've leveled up really that much to trade this thing. Maybe I have. I just don't want to take an L because this thing has a lot of range. You take a buy at, you know, 1035, right? Sell at 1032. I mean, it's just the spread isn't that nice, although here is looking really good. So, I mean, here it looks fine, a lot better, but there has been some really crazy spreads. I'll just watch and see what this does. I'm going to just ban myself from trading it just because of how strange it trades and just learn from it, really. That's all I can do, and that's all I got. The other ones haven't really moved. I haven't looked. I did add MDMP. This one was interesting because it made a nice dip towards VWAP setup. I just didn't have this stock in the watch list. I wasn't watching it. That would have been a nice move. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'll make an update later. Alright, it is 2:27. I'm not extremely sure when the last video was made, but I stopped trying to mess with it when it was around here in the 1060s, and it did drop eventually to, I just got under 10, barely got under 10, and I guess there was the big volume candle here, but I just stopped. Didn't want to get in trouble with something that might fade for a very long time, but hey, it eventually worked here. I kind of feel salty looking at this now from a distance, but at the same time, it was just a bit iffy. It worked out eventually, and it got from 10 to 1080, small, higher, low. Got through VWAP at 11, so that would have been what, like $100, just trading 100 shares. A bit harder here to have held it through. I wouldn't have done that, but that's where it is right now. It looks like, it almost looks like a cup and handle, a very long handle, but nothing right now. WSRC, nothing I wanted to trade here. I did consider, I think, the lower low, but not too much because it was choppy. The initial morning panic bounce play, PHIL downtrended, MDMP. Oh, this is nice. It held VWAP, and this is kind of not too random because I've seen this happen before, but that's a nice uptrend. And HPIL, it's not really doing anything, so that's where I'm at. Probably no trades the rest of the day, and I still, I don't know, I guess I'm up like 18 bucks. I don't know, wasn't really too perfect, but hey, there was definitely opportunity. Haven't really been looking too much in the stocks after the last video, but it's nice to see some of these work out. Alright, it is 9:03 p.m. and I'm just here to call it off, or you know, just to see what everything did. And WSRC, well, first let's just go over, yeah, I'm up. I mean, I didn't trade, you know, it wasn't like perfect, but WSRC was a buy at 9:33 for a potential morning panic bounce play. And that, quite frankly, just it didn't really work because there wasn't really much range. The only thing I liked that, you know, this one had that big volume candle, not really perfectly. It was just the next minute after that big volume candle, it seems like, or maybe the one afterwards. I took a buy at 35.73, which was a really good buy at the bottom of the range, and then I sold at the top of the range at 3692 because you know, once I saw that, hey, this thing, like, VWAP is right there and it's not that much range, so I tried selling at the top of the range for that reason. I was in the trade for, give or take, it looks like I was in the trade for 2 minutes and a half, about a little more than that. So it should have dropped more. I mean, it's not bad, 39 to 36, so that's roughly 10%. VWAP was just, it just showed that there wasn't much potential range. It did get as high as 38, from that 35 level, so give or take 10%, but there really wasn't that much range. And then I just wasn't here. I think I wasn't here. I was too busy looking at LWLG. I'm not extremely sure. I don't remember anymore, but here was a little better. You know, from 33 to 35. I guess it's not really that good. The main reason why I think I didn't consider it is because I don't think I was looking at it, but if I was, it would have been because it just wasn't much range down here, up here. So why would there be, you know, it's just less likely that there's more range down there. My next trade, which was an L, was HPIL. Yeah, 938 and 942. I bought at 938, which was back here. 7.3, which was, I guess, the middle of the range. It did uptrend a little. I hated the price action. A lot of people were dumping their shares, and that's clearly what happened. I sold. I tried selling for a profit, you know, right here, and then I tried selling break even. Then I just hit the bid because it was taking a little too long. 942. I took a sell right before it started to head down, actually, which was a, you know, better late than never, you know. Just saved myself, like, you know, try not to be so greedy, trying to sell for a slight profit or, you know, break even. The trade didn't work, so I cut it. Tiny loss. This is $2.50, just under 1%. And that was the end of it. It dropped more. I guess it did have a big volume candle here. But then what? You get in at 6.9. Lots of consolidation. It gets to 7.3. Not much range. Not much range at all. So that was the case with that one. You know, it was just an L, but hey, I tried. And then the last one, LWLG. This one was slightly profitable, but it didn't do what I wanted it to do. You know, it was just a cut, basically. Sure, I made a tiny percent, you know, just under 1%. And, you know, even though it was $9, it's because I traded a much larger position size. Here I traded a $350 position size. Here my position size, you know, was 3 times that amount. So that was the case why I made some here, even though it just didn't work out really. And 10.08, I was at 11.10, so 10.08 was right here. I think we had that big falling candle, or it was just consolidating, right? Because the other day it was just consolidating. It wasn't like a clear big volume candle, so I just went for it because it was holding that level. I got in at 10.08. I sold at 10.10 just 2 minutes later. I guess 1.5 minutes later, and I just didn't like the price action. The price action was looking bad, even though I did get to 11.38. I think I did really well selling at 11.20 because the price action just wasn't looking that good, and it dropped here. And now it looks all obvious, all big volume candle, of course. You know, I was considering head inverse head and shoulder head, but it just cracked the level right here. 10.42. Just briefly, I guess this is the one where if it breaks a very important level like $10 and then it shows that it holds very nicely, which it did here, that should have been the entry. That's like where I could buy 200 shares if it just looks that nice. But yeah, I just decided not to really trade it, just to step back and see how it does, just to learn from it, really, just to see it from an outside perspective, not somebody in the trade anymore, just to learn from it. I guess it was the inverse hand and shoulder, head, shoulder. Nothing too clean. That's when it went towards VWAP 1040 to 11. So that wasn't that bad in that sense. It did get higher to 1148. 12. Dip towards VWAP. Sure, I could have traded it, but I don't mind not trading it. This is something to learn from, though. I think it was a great experience. Down 44%. Is there even much range left? Yeah, there's definitely range in this. It's not a clean stock. Trades very liquidly. Not the best volume. But yeah, I'm just going to call it off right here. Just, you know, 3 trades tried. None of them really worked the way I wanted it to, which is fine. I still was profitable just by the way I trade conservatively, cutting the trade early. If it just doesn't seem that nice or exactly the way I'd like it to be. Not because it has to go my way, but if it just doesn't seem like it's not going to do it, I just cut it rather quickly. Nice moves with LWLG. That's all I got. Just a good, just a good day. I look forward to tomorrow. I just have to keep trying, I guess.